I didn't flinch when I heard the splash. The laptop sank fast, a black rectangle disappearing into blue water. My brother smirked, arms crossed like a child proud of his tantrum. "Oh, sorry," he said, his voice dripping with mockery. "I accidentally dropped it." His eyes dared me to react. I didn't. Dad, leaning against the railing, added with a shrug, "It's just an accident. Don't make a scene." Just an accident? $33,000 wasn't an accident. My refusal wasn't an accident either. And neither was what came after. I didn't argue. Not that night. Instead, I smiled. It's fine. But my silence was sharper than any shout. I grew up thinking family meant protection. That's the lie they fed me. My brother, 2 years younger, always reckless, always shielded by my father's excuses. And me, the one expected to endure, to forgive, to carry. When we were kids, I saved him. I covered his mistakes, lent him money I never saw again, fixed his messes before they reached our parents. And for years, I thought loyalty was love. But that night by the pool, staring at the bubbles rising from the drowned machine, I understood something new. Loyalty without respect is servitude. I wasn't their servant anymore. I didn't sleep. Instead, I sat in the dark, listening to the house breathe. At 2:15 a.m., I opened my backup drive. Every contract, every account, every line of code I had ever written, mirrored and safe. My brother thought drowning the laptop killed me. He had no idea he only cut the leash. By 3, I made my first call. A lawyer I trusted more than blood. By 3:45, I logged into the company's servers. By 4:10, I changed the passwords. All of them. At 5, I rerouted ownership, tied everything to my name alone. And at 5:45, while he still slept, drunk on arrogance, the first notification hit his phone: access denied. That was the moment his world began to unravel. It wasn't just a laptop he drowned, it was a key. For months, I'd let him use limited access to my startup systems, a gesture of goodwill, a chance to prove himself. But goodwill to him was a weapon. He siphoned contacts, bragged to investors, even hinted at replacing me. I kept notes, emails, screenshots. Every betrayal cataloged like evidence in a trial I was quietly preparing. So when his phone lit up at dawn with rejection after rejection, he thought it was a glitch. He didn't know I was awake, watching the panic ripple through him from the hallway. First, confusion, then anger, then fear. By 7 a.m., his calls started. First to me. I let them ring. Then to Dad. Muffled voices carried through the walls. Dad's patience thinning, my brother's voice breaking. By 8, the news had spread to his friends, to the investors he bragged to. He was locked out of everything. And I sat in silence, sipping coffee, calm as a surgeon. When they finally stormed into my room, faces pale and voices sharp, I didn't even look up from my screen. "What did you do?" my brother shouted. "You ruined me!" I closed the laptop slowly. This one hadn't touched water. "I didn't ruin you," I said. My voice was quiet, steady. "You did." Dad barked, "Fix this now! He's your brother!" I tilted my head, studying the man who always dismissed me, who always excused him. "When he drowned my work, you said it was an accident. What do you call this?" They didn't answer. The confrontation wasn't loud. It was surgical. I laid the papers on the desk. Every clause, every signature, every timestamp proving the company was mine alone. My brother's name was nowhere. His attempts to siphon funds, documented. His messages bragging about taking over, archived. "Try explaining this to a court," I said. The room went still. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. The silence pressed heavier than any scream. My brother stammered, his bravado cracking. Dad's eyes darted, calculating, realizing too late that the child he dismissed had grown sharper than both of them combined. Consider this, I continued, leaning forward. That laptop you drowned, it wasn't the only copy. Everything important was always mine. And now, so is the future. The fallout was immediate. Investors cut ties with him, friends disappeared. The whispers started about incompetence, recklessness, betrayal. He became the man people avoided, the story told as a warning. Dad tried to protect him, but the damage was irreversible. His words, his excuses, carried no weight against signed contracts and sealed evidence. And me? I stepped into silence, built bigger, higher, stronger. They thought destroying one machine destroyed me. Instead, it freed me. I still remember the look on his face at 5:45 a.m. when he first saw access denied. That moment will stay with me forever. The exact second arrogance turned into fear. Poetic, really. He drowned a laptop. I drowned his future. Do I regret it? No. Regret is for those who lose. I didn't lose. I learned.